There is one thing that is just not talked about enough when it comes to building a personal brand. And I'm a little bit obsessed with talking about it at the moment because I see it all the time. And it's this: you don't get the results by trying to be the person. You get the results by deciding to be the person who does the thing. Today, we are talking about identity, and the identity that is going to get you to where you want to go, the identity that is going to help you to actually go after the bigger things. Because the moment that your identity matches the task, that's when the resistance will fall away. And so often we don't realize that. I'll give you an example. If you're wanting to become a runner and every day you're like, oh, like I've got to get up and I've got to go for a run, then that resistance is going to chip away at you. Whereas if you woke up and you thought, I'm a runner, today we're going to go for a run because that's who I am, then claiming that identity means that you're going to have a lot less resistance and you're just going to do it. Because when there's resistance, it's like it's a chore. It's the pressure of, oh, I've got to do this. But if you wake up every morning and you're like, of course I'm going to create content today because that's who I am, because I know why I'm doing it, because my identity is a person who's building a personal brand, building an online business, and that's what we do. And the we is actually quite powerful when it comes to your identity as well, because you are now identifying with a type of person, a collective of people who do a certain thing. And it supports who you believe you are. And the truth is that whatever you're focusing on, whatever you're telling yourself is either fueling you or it's draining you. And if you spend your time in comparison, looking at everybody else, wishing that's what your business was like, that's what your personal brand was like, that is going to drain so much energy from you. And so making the decision every morning that you are the person who does this thing is going to make your life so much easier. So today I'm going to share 5 identity shifting pillars that can shift your identity into who you really want to be. And it's all about stopping you from trying and helping you to decide that this is who you are now, and finally acting from a place of ease because you're in the identity. And we want this new identity to become your new operating system. Think about it like a computer. There are specific systems that run. There are specific programs that run. That's just how they work. And so we want to reprogram ourselves to be in the identity, to be the person who does the thing, who shows up, who creates, who builds, who sells, and who does it with as little resistance as possible. Is it going to completely go away? No, because we're human. But if we can start to program ourselves to believe that we are that person, everything is going to go a lot smoother without all the resistance. Now, as a personal brand, business, and confidence coach, I have coached so many people who come to me and they've thought that they've had a problem with visibility. They've thought that they've had a problem with confidence. They've thought that they've had a problem with clarity. And to a point, they have. But the main issue has been identity. It's that they keep telling themselves that they're not clear, that they don't have clarity, that they're not sure what they want. But when we dig into it, they do know what they want. They constantly tell themselves that they're not confident, that they can't do it. But when we look at evidence of what they've done in the past, the truth is that there is evidence that they have done that and they can do that. But their identity has not locked in that they are a person who can do that thing. And the truth is that identity drives results. So I just really want you to understand that. When you are the person who does the thing, that's when you'll start to get the results that you want. When you think about the Olympic athlete, they're not thinking, am I going to show up today and train? No, they just do it because that's who they are. And then they get the result of the gold medal. And so you've got to start to ask yourself, what are you doing every day? And what identity are you in when you're doing it or not doing it? And I heard Joe Dispenza say this recently, and it has stuck with me and I love it, which is believe, behave, become. Just going to say that again. Believe that you can do it. So you behave in that way and then you become it. And that is embodying the identity. So let's talk about how you can shift that identity piece for yourself. Number 1, you have to decide what it is that you're going after, because you can't shift your identity if you don't know what you're trying to shift it to. If you were to look at the next 12 months, the next 2 years, whatever it is, and things were going exactly the way that you wanted, you have achieved the things that you are going after. What are those things? And so get crystal clear on that. Write it down, visualize it, think about the exact elements of it, not just general and pie in the sky, but get really specific with it, because that specificity is going to help you. For example, you could have 50 people in your coaching program. You're speaking on stages. You're getting invited onto podcasts. You've got consistent 30, 50K months happening in your business. You're feeling confident. You've got free time to do the things that you love. Maybe you're playing pickleball twice a week. Maybe that's just me. So write it down. And if you're anything like me, I love to talk to ChatGPT as well. And so get it to ask you questions and then answer the questions. And a great question or prompt to ask is this: if you fully became the person you wanted to be, what would the next 12 months of your life look like, specifically in your business, your habits, your relationships, and your daily decisions? Because at the end of the day, that bypasses like your vague goal setting and it goes straight to identity, behavior, and outcome. And I'll also add a bunch of additional questions in a free downloadable doc that you can be asking yourself to get real clarity as well. The second thing is the identity interrupt. Now, at the end of the day, if we're looking to shift into a new identity, then we have to interrupt the old pattern and the old identity. And I've shared this exercise before, and I think that it's so helpful, but it's really taking a look at who you are right now. So what are the behaviors that you have? What are the things that you're doing every day? What are you saying when it comes to who you are? So the I am statement: I am a person who. I'm a person who works out every day. I am a person who eats healthy. I am a person who sells every day in my business. I am a person who creates content. So what are your I am statements? I think that there is a lot that can be revealed when you go through that little exercise of who am I? Who am I saying I am? Who am I showing up as? What are the things that I am committing to that really are part of my identity right now? Write those down. Now think about the first thing that we did, where you want to be in 12 months' time. And then on the other side of the page, I want you to write down the identity that you are now. On the other side of the page, I want you to write down the identity of the person who achieves everything that you said in question number 1. So they're a person who does what? They're a person who goes after the opportunities, sends the email, shows up, books the meeting, whatever it is. Really understand what it would take for you to achieve all of the things that you're wanting in the next 12 months. Write them down. And then I want you to look at those 2 identities. And you might have some of them already where you're like, yes, I'm somebody who creates content every day. Tick, tick. Great. Is there any elevation that needs to happen in that identity? Maybe I'm the person who creates higher quality content. I'm the person who creates more compelling content. Maybe that's something that you want to learn to be able to do better. So I think it's great to acknowledge where we are winning. I'm already in the identity of somebody who does that thing, but now I want to be in the identity of somebody who does it even better. And we're here to stretch ourselves. So you want to name the version of you that's running things today and also identify the behaviors that's keeping that version of you where you are. And you want to interrupt it with a conscious pattern break. And as a certified mindset coach and somebody who is a little obsessed with neuroscience, understanding that your neuroplasticity, which is your brain's ability to change, evolve, and grow, research shows that we can break old patterns when we stop reinforcing them, which means we stop doing them over and over again. But we can only really break that when we consciously do it, because the majority of the time we're just working on autopilot. It's like when you drive somewhere and you get there and you're like, I don't know how I got here. It's because it's imprinted on our brains how we do that thing. And so we just automatically do it. The same goes for your morning, I'm sure, is that you have a certain pattern. You have a certain way of getting ready every morning, having breakfast, starting to go to work. And so then you have to make a decision. Okay, what do I want my morning to look like? And how am I going to do a pattern interrupt, which is to intentionally say, okay, when I get up in the morning, I'm going to have my phone in the kitchen, not by my bed. I'm going to get up. I'm going to maybe put some music on. I'm going to have my shower. I'm going to go for a walk. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to start my day, if that's different to what you normally do. Think about what you want it to be. And then you have to start to intentionally interrupt the old patterns in order to create those new patterns. One thing that I did for myself when I wanted to create content more regularly was that I put in my diary from 8:30 to 9:30 every morning. Not that it took that long, but I put that in my diary as content creation. It's there, I see it, I know I need to do it, and now it just happens on autopilot. So think about what tools you can use to help things to become autopilot for you in the identity that you want to be in, and in the identity that's going to get you to where you want to go. So think about what are the patterns that you want to start interrupting. And I'm sure that you already know what they are. When I think about some of my clients, the pattern that they might want to interrupt is overthinking their content. What could they create in a system that could help them to take action faster? I challenged my clients the other day where I said, if you wanted to make 50K by the end of the year, What would you need to do differently? That is a pattern interrupt. It's when we ask ourselves a bigger question that has to break us out of the norm and would require new actions, new thinking, and new beliefs. Number one, is it possible? Number two, what would I need to do to make it happen? Number three, how do I shift what I'm doing right now so that I am in the identity of somebody who makes that happen? Now, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter whether you hit the goal or not. It's about breaking the patterns. It's about the pattern interrupt. So the question I want you to ask yourself is, what would you need to ask yourself in order to interrupt the patterns that are keeping you where you are? The third thing is aligned storytelling. Your brain has a story that's on repeat, and that story determines what you do. So you've got to make sure you understand what that story is. That story could be, it's really hard to make money. That story could be that if I was visible, I would be judged. The story could be, I'm too old, I'm too fat, I'm too skinny, I'm too young, I'm too this, I'm too that. Whatever those stories are that you keep telling yourself, that's determining what it is that you end up doing. So you've got to know what those stories are in order to rewrite them. So number one, we're going to write down our limiting stories. That's fun, isn't it? But we have to know what they are. Secondly, we're going to rewrite those stories from the identity that we are stepping into, our future self identity, the person that we are moving towards, the person that we are shifting to. What is the story that they have? That clients are waiting for me, that when I show up, the right people will find me, that money is easy to make. And you also want to say it out loud. I was watching a video this morning on Ronaldo, the soccer player, and he was saying, Ronaldo plays the best soccer in the world. Ronaldo is resilient. Ronaldo is this, Ronaldo is that. And the person who was sharing the video was explaining that when we say things out aloud, it helps our brain to rewire. And it's so much more powerful than silent thoughts. So I want you to try this, even though it might feel weird. It comes back to the I am statements. Suze is somebody that creates content every day. Suze is somebody that creates rooms that people want to be in. Suze is somebody that speaks on big stages. Claiming that identity is a big part of this. And when we're looking at the research and building new neural pathways that are going to embed this identity for us, studies show that repetition and emotion strengthen those pathways. So really feel it. Feel it to a point where you are believing it. I believe that is possible. I believe that is what is going to happen. And I'm going to keep saying it over and over again. And every time something small happens that is moving me towards that goal, I am so grateful. I am so grateful that I got the invitation to speak. I'm so grateful that people are inquiring how to work with me. I'm so grateful for the new clients that signed up. So your goal is to speak your new identity out aloud. Speak the stories that are going to rewrite what it is that you're going after. The next thing is embodied action. So what did Joe Dispenza say? Believe was the first thing. The second thing was behave. And this is what embodied action is. We are behaving. We are taking action. We are doing the daily things that are going to shift the dial. So just think about it like this. What is one habit that your future self would never skip? And all you have to do is like the smallest version of that today. And one of the best things that you can do is that you want to be tracking identity-driven actions and not just outcome-driven actions. So every time you can see that you are in the identity of the person that does that thing, acknowledge it. And when you do that, it's like you're planting the seed. It's like, this is what we are going to be doing from now on. And then it's making that conscious action, doing that intentional pattern interrupt, where it's, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. And I know that we all know the 21 days, 35 days that it takes to create a habit, but just being the person that decides this is a habit that I'm going to create, this is a habit that I'm going to build, this is an identity that I'm going to be stepping into and being from now on is so important. And the fifth one is environmental reinforcement, because your identity is shaped more by your environment than just motivation. So think about your environment. It's like we said earlier, if I wanted to change the habit of my morning routine and I didn't want to get on my phone in the morning, then I would move my phone from my bedside table into the kitchen or into my office or out of reach. And that's your environment. You're shifting your environment to create the habits and the identity that you want. If you don't want to eat junk food anymore, you don't buy junk food anymore. If you want to move more, then book it into the diary, go for a walk with a friend, get your exercise clothing out, lay it out so that when you get up in the morning, that's what you put on and you know that you're going for a walk. So you need to audit your environment to decide, is this actually helping or hindering me to be able to achieve the goals that I want, to really step into the identity that I want? One of the things that I am doing more is I am meeting up with more biz friends to have great conversations, getting out of my office and being in different environments, because I know that when I'm in different environments having those conversations, new ideas come up. And so that's an environmental change. And the really interesting thing is that you need to also remove the anchors to your old self. And so if you just keep things the same, it's going to be really hard to change. So think about what that looks like for you and what are the changes that you need to make. And the truth is that when you stop trying and you just decide that this is how it's going to be, and just even in that, like a decision, I am deciding. I'm not like, I don't know, I'm not sure. You're deciding. It's like a yes or no. Am I shifting identities? Yes, I am. It's a decision. Okay, what do I need to do in order to do that? All the things that we've talked about today. And when you do that, your brain will change, your resistance will drop, your actions will align. And when you do these things, your energy will rise because you're like, yes, I'm doing it. And the amazing thing is that your results will compound as well. Because just think about it. If you were to do that thing every day, being in the identity of the person who is achieving the goal and moving towards what you want in the next 12 months, that's going to compound. So this is something I work with a lot of my coaching clients on, is that so often clients will come to me and they're like, no, my mindset is fine. I don't need any mindset work. And 9 times out of 10, they're not where they want to be because of identity. They don't see themselves as the person who does the things that are going to get them to where they need to be. And the truth is that building a personal brand is an identity game, because you have to believe that you've got something of value to share, that you can build the audience that you want, that you can create the product that is going to help you to help your clients, but also help you to earn the money that you want. It is an identity game. If you don't believe those things are possible for you and that you are the person who's going to do it, it's going to be very hard for you to achieve that. So what can you do right now? Write down exactly what it is that you're aiming for, where you want to be in 12 months' time. I think that's an exciting thing to do. Secondly, interrupt just one pattern. What is one thing you want to change? Just one. Going to start small. Thirdly, rewrite and speak one identity out aloud. I am somebody who, and take one embodied action today. What is that going to be? Are you going to move your phone? Are you going to have one less coffee? Are you going to send the email? Are you going to contact the client? Whatever it is, do something that feels exciting for you, where you're like, oh, it's a little bit of a bum clench moment, but that's okay. We're here for it. Because shifting your identity is not always the easiest thing to do. These things have been entrenched in us for a long time. But when we recognize the stories, when we understand what is holding us back and we can see what's possible for ourselves, everything starts to shift. And even for me, I am somebody who creates my YouTube video every week, even when I don't feel like it, even when things are hard, even when life feels chaotic. I am the person who does this. And I really had to lean into that today, because I was like, I think I'll just do the podcast. I think I'll just do an audio today. But my brain, because I am training it, said, no, Suze, that's not what we do. We do the video every week like we've committed to. And so my identity overrode my lizard brain, which was, meh, we don't have to do this today. Yes, actually we do. Why? Because that's who we are. And that is what shifting an identity does for you. It helps you to move from, do I have to do this today? I'm not sure I'm going to do it, to, no, this is who we are. This is what we do. So make sure that you grab the download of the questions. I'm actually going to be doing an identity expansion mini mind in January as well. So if you're interested in that, you can DM me the word expand on Instagram or drop it here and I will send you the link to sign up for the waitlist for that, which I am excited about. If you are ready for bigger goals, to go bigger, to create something that's different to where you are now, which is going to take an identity shift, these are the things to do. What we talked about today, grab the questions, start working on it. If you have aha moments, DM me, let me know. I'm so here for it. Because if you want to be a bold and powerful voice in your space and claim it with confidence, this, my friend, is what's required. If you enjoyed this video, I would love you to share it, subscribe, leave a comment below. Tell me what is one thing that you're going to do. And as always, if you want to listen to the audio, then you can catch that on any of the podcast apps. And I'll see you next time.